Well, he goes on, and he ends this by saying, I am glorified in them. Once again, I just want you to see the way Jesus puts his words forward. And again, I like the New American Standard a little bit better than this. It says, I have been glorified in them. Now notice what he doesn't say. He doesn't say, I will be glorified by them. He says, I have been glorified in them. Okay? Past tense, it's actually a perfect tense. And a perfect tense is something that is completed in the past. So Jesus says, I have been glorified, not by what these guys are going to do, especially what they're going to do tonight, but in them. Now, how is he glorified in these disciples on that night? Well, one, he's glorified in his love for them. You have to imagine that in the spiritual realm, the love that Christ has for these men surrounds them like the Shekinah glory, like a halo. So intense is his love for these men. He is glorified in them by his own love. He is glorified in them through his immanence and the immanence of the triune God. He has said in various places, the Father and I will come and make our abode with you. The Holy Spirit, you know him because he is in you and he lives with you. We are going to come and fill your vessel. God is an immanent God. Because of Emmanuel, he lives in us. That brings glory. That's already something that brings him glory. As we said the other day, he is glorified in the whole plan of redemption. He is seeing it so surely as if it's past tense. His crucifixion, resurrection, ascension, coronation. It is as if he's already through that. And he is glorified in the process where he came into the darkness of this world to find his bride, to redeem her, to take her back to the house of his Father so that she can fill it, or that he can fill it with spiritual children. He is glorified in that. But specifically for this morning, specifically, in the context of the prayer that he says, when he says, I'm not praying for the world, I am praying for these. He is glorified in them in the seed that he has planted. Going back to the 8th verse when he said, I have given them your word and they have received it. I've tilled the soil. I have fertilized it. I have planted the seeds of the Logos, of the word, of the gospel. And that word always germinates and always grows. The Holy Spirit waters that word. It will grow up to be a plant and bear fruit that is 100-fold. Once again, starting in the 12th chapter, Jesus says, actually before, but he's really been hitting it since the middle of the end of the 12th chapter. I am leaving you. I am the light of the world. As long as I am with you, walk in the light. But now I am leaving. I have planted the light in these men. They're the light bearers. And they will go into the darkness of this world. I've pulled them out of the world. I've cleaned them up. And now I'm sending them right back into that world, so that they can turn it on its head. That's the reason I'm not praying for the world. I'm not praying for the world because it is lost and hopeless. The only hope the world has is these 11 men. And that's why I'm praying for them. Because they're the light bearers. And they're going to start a process that will change this world. Brothers and sisters, that process, as clearly as I can articulate, is that the Father chooses from all eternity past those that he will give as a gift to the Son. The Father is the one who foreknows and predestines, and he calls out of darkness into his marvelous light those he gives as a gift to his Son. The Holy Spirit regenerates those hearts, and the Son plants the Logos, the Word, in those hearts. And if this world is going to be saved, now you understand hopefully why I painted that horrible, black, terrible picture of the world that we live in. If this world is going to be saved, these 11 men are going to save it, because Jesus is leaving, and he leaves the light with them, and he sends them out into the darkness as the light bearers. and the process that occurred in them. It's not the way He's going to change the world. It's not going to be a major movement. It's not going to be military. It's not going to be the way that so many Christian evangelical churches try to make it happen today. It's a one-on-one situation. The Father elects, the Spirit regenerates, the Son redeems, and the light bearer plants the Word. One-on-one. And that process is repeated over and over and over and over again. So that all those many years ago, in a very real sense, Jesus was praying for you. Because if you know Jesus, if you are His, if you call Him Lord and truly have had that regeneration in your heart and you follow Him, then He was praying that these 11 men would ultimately reach you. And now, that defines your place in the kingdom. Because now you are the light bearers. Now you are the ones. You're the fruit planted in the soil. You are growing up. You will bear that fruit, and that fruit needs to be shared with the dark and dying world. Now, those 11 men were the hope of the world. Jesus, of course, is the hope. He came, He left. They were the hope of the world, and now you are the hope of the world. Brothers and sisters, that's why Brother Steve read you that familiar passage from Sermon on the Mount. You're the light of the world. Jesus said, I am the light of the world, but I'm leaving. Now you're the light of the world. You're the city shining on a hill. You are the lighthouse on the rocky shore. No one lights a lamp and puts it under a basket. Don't hide your lamp. Don't disguise it. Don't muck it up with the sin of this world. Let your light shine so that all can see it, because you, brothers and sisters, are the only hope this world has. You are the heroes of this world. You are the light bearers. You think about that.